Sam Patterson was affable, loving, lovable, and he could be very strong in his leadership, visionary. Obviously, very important key in the early history of the seminary. It was largely his vision that initiated the seminary and kept it going in those early years. There had been talk for several years of the need for a more conservative evangelical seminary supplying pastors for what was called in those days the Southern Presbyterian Church, the PCUS. The climax, I think, for Sam was a series of articles in a magazine called the Presbyterian Outlook, in which they were interviewing the primary theology professors at the 4 Southern Presbyterian seminaries. And the article was, do we need an infallible Bible? And essentially the response from all 4 of those seminaries was no, and we do not have one. And that was the trigger that caused Sam to say, well, we need an alternative. And at that point, his concern, the concern of all the founders, was to send Bible-believing pastors into the Southern Presbyterian Church to reform it. But Sam and others felt that if we're going to have true reformation, we've got to have pastors that are produced who really believe in an infallible Bible and teach that. At that point, Sam gathered 4 other ministers. As they prayed about it, they felt like the time was now to go ahead and start a seminary, but they didn't have funding, they didn't know how to do it, and they designated Sam to go talk to some laymen in the Jackson area to help them start a seminary. The first layman that Sam Patterson came to visit was an elder named Erskine Wells. And as he shared the desire and the need, the opportunity, Erskine began to raise objections. We don't have any money. We don't really know what we're doing. The denomination will be against us. Wouldn't want this new seminary to get started. And finally, I've heard Erskine tell this story on himself many times before the Lord took him home. Erskine says that finally Sam stopped him and said, "Erskine, how big is your God?" And Erskine responded, "When do we start?"